Foreign Affairs Secretary Perfecto Yasay Jr. raises the West Philippine Sea or South China Sea dispute before the United Nations General Assembly. Yasay says, quote, "Our commitment to the rule of law, to peace, and to our relations with the international community also extends to the recent decision of the Arbitral Tribunal of the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague with regard to disputes in the South China Sea. The Philippines proposes bilateral talks with China, but Beijing refuses to negotiate based on the historic West Philippine Sea ruling." The PCA ruled China's expansive claim on almost the entire sea has no basis. Yasay also denies the Philippines is veering away from Washington. President Rodrigo Duterte earlier said he is, quote, "crossing the Rubicon with the United States." Yasay says, quote, "I do not think personally that he meant it in the context of veering away from our commitments to the United States, particularly with our agreements and treaty or with respect to the close and special relations that we have with the United States." While Duterte said he is not ready to break ties with the US, he will, quote, "open up alliances with China and Russia." Yasay says, quote, "Well, maybe he was again saying that in a manner to dramatize what he feels are the areas that would need further strengthening insofar as our relationship with the US is concerned." Senator Laila de Lima hits Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre for the supposed fabricated evidence linking her to illegal drugs in the New Bilibid prison. De Lima says the evidence being used against her is as fake as Aguirre's wig. She says, quote, "Secretary Aguirre's alleged evidence against me is like his toupee, his wig, fake and cosmetics only. There is nothing into it other than that. Nothing's authentic." Aguirre on Tuesday reiterated the government has direct evidence against De Lima in the form of the two National Bureau of Investigation officials who allegedly delivered money to her house. De Lima is the subject of a House probe into the proliferation of the illegal drug trade in the MBP during her term as Justice Chief. President Rodrigo Duterte on Tuesday, September 27, apologizes to Pangasinan Representative Amado Espino and the province's other officials for being, quote, "negligent in counter-checking a drug matrix he earlier released to the public."
I would like to apologize to you publicly. And I would say now, I am very sorry. But trabaho ko yan, it's part of my territory. I cannot be perfect. Sometimes you are correct when you say that life is never fair. As the drug, I think that somehow we were negligent in counter-checking during the first report.
Duterte's drug matrix implicated several local officials with supposed links to Senator Laila de Lima and her alleged involvement in the illegal drug trade in the New Bilibid prison when she was Justice Secretary. Espino welcomes Duterte's apology.
"I am humbled by the pronouncement of the President today on clearing my involvement on the alleged drug matrix released last August 25, 2016. I kept my silence for the past 3 weeks as I know beyond reasonable doubt that I am not guilty of this allegation."
Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno downplays worries over the depreciation of the Philippine peso. Diokno says the depreciation of the peso, quote, "is a result of the strengthening of the dollar more than the weakening of the peso." The Philippine peso fell to its lowest level against the dollar in 7 years, breaching the 48 peso to $1 mark Monday, September 26. He adds the strengthening of the dollar is due to the impending increase of the interest rate by the U.S. Federal Reserve by the end of 2016, a move aiming to attract more investments to the U.S. Diokno says, quote, "There are winners and losers in the depreciation of the peso. The winners are the exporters. The losers are those who crave for imported goods, imported shoes, imported bags. To me, it's not a big deal." White House contenders Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump trade insults and spar over temperament, stamina, and judgment at the first United States presidential debate Monday, September 26. With polls showing both candidates in virtual ties, Democrat Clinton repeatedly questions Trump's fitness to serve as president. Clinton tells Trump, quote, "You live in your own reality." Trump accuses Clinton of being a, quote, "typical politician. All talk, no action. Sounds good, doesn't work." He says in his words, "Let me tell you, Hillary has experience, but it's bad experience." Trump also questions Clinton's stamina after a bout of pneumonia. But Clinton fires back, quote, well, as soon as he travels to 112 countries and negotiates a peace deal, a ceasefire, a release of dissidents, or even spends 11 hours testifying in front of a congressional committee, he can talk to me about stamina.